I wanted to do a quick video about ClickUp. So I've received a ton of um, DMs and calls and emails about ClickUp and wanting to know if ClickUp is good for you. And so I figured the best thing to do would be to make a little video kind of walking you through everything. So without further ado, this is ClickUp. ClickUp is a task management application. So if you use Asana or Trello, it does the same things, except I'm doing like a quiet, like secret yell at you. It does them all better. And yeah, so if you're not using ClickUp yet, what are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. But really, it does everything that you need it to do, and it does it so much easier. So, like my problem is Asana. I love a list view. That's mainly the view that I use for most of my projects or lists or anything in ClickUp. But there are certain things that I sometimes like a board view for, and there's no option. Like in Asana, I would have to create a list view, and then I would have to go and duplicate that as a board view. So I would have double the amount of tasks, and that doesn't make sense. And in Trello, there is not even like list view option, at least that I'm aware of. I am my there are, I think, two different types of people. One type of person likes Trello, and one type of person likes Asana. And the great thing about ClickUp is it does both of the things that both of those software does in one place 10 times better. So when I say that, I know you're like, yeah, okay, you offer ClickUp setups. Of course you're going to say that. But it's true. And since 2.0 has been released with all these extra features, it does things that no other task management software that I've ever used can do. So I'm going to just kind of walk you through a little bit of how the layout is and where everything is and all of that good stuff. So when you log in, you're going to either you're going to have all your spaces. So spaces are kind of the categories in which you would put different lists. So operations, for example, might have maybe a weekly team meeting list, maybe a failed payment process, anything operations related to your business might be housed there. For me, I'm a virtual assistant, so I have a client space that has all of my clients as a list. So individual lists, and then I have reoccurring tasks and one-time tasks and things like that get added there for my specific clients. And then I have household tasks, which is I'm very like OCD about things, and so I've got like crazy. I'll show you my crazy. We'll show you. Don't tell anyone. Not that like I'm not putting this on the internet so that anyone can see it. So just don't tell anyone, okay? Um, so I've had like cook dinner, make dinner plan for next week, review upcoming bills due next week. All of this kind of stuff is in here. Birthdays, everything is in here. And then I even have like doc views for meal plans so I can plan out what we're having for dinner, which may be like a little crazy to some people, but when you're really busy, anything that can make your life easier, even if it is a meal template, if it helps you, then that's all that matters. So, I mean, there's a ton of things you can do, but I'm going to get back to the ClickUp preview space, which like operations, like I said, I have lists here, Dubsado. So if you use Dubsado for your CRM, you may kind of be like, well, why do you have a list for that? And the reason is because of embedded views. Now, there are certain websites that allow you to do embedded views, and there are certain websites that do not allow embedded views, but Dubsado does, and maybe keep it a secret because maybe they don't know that, and I will cry if they take it away. Not really, but it's nice to be able to have things all in one place. So you can set permissions so that only you can see the Dubsado view if you have a team, or if you have a team and certain people do need access and certain people don't, you can just not give them access to the specific list. So you can use it too. It's not just like, oh, a picture of Dubsado, great. No, you can create projects, you can send invoices, you can get to your scheduler, you can use Dubsado just like you would if it was in a regular browser tab. So that's really cool. You could have your failed payments. One thing I like to do is set up a Zap that takes, so Zapier takes whatever your payment processor is, and anytime you have a failed payment, it creates a task in ClickUp for you to manage your failed payment process. Then you could have your team meeting. You could have your tasks, could be actual tasks that you want to assign during your team meeting, or you could just use the embedded views. This, I have a Google Sheet embedded, which is just a stock scorecard that I've created if any of my clients ever need it, and we're going to use one. So whatever your metrics are that you're tracking, you could put that here. You could even use a doc view and have an agenda. And you can even take agenda items and create tasks. So all you do is highlight them and you can click create a task and assign it out. So there are a lot of really cool things. So these are all included views. So all you do is say, I want to add a view, and you can add a board, a view, any of these. Embed is what you use to embed any kind of a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, an Airtable, anything Dubsado, that's what's in here. And then there's form views as well. And we'll get into that in a second. Another one of my favorites, and this is a different kind of way to use it, is SOPs. So you could use this as, usually I name it like Learning Center when I create them. So basically what this is I have a list for email management is a SOP, okay? And in the business version, you can set the view to a specific view. So on the regular version, it's just going to automatically load list as the main view, and you would have to click to SOP. But on the business plan, you can set the required view to be whatever you want it to be. So in this case, I set it to be the SOP. You can embed videos in here. I cleaned out my Loom, so these videos aren't showing anymore, but you could outline your SOP, have videos in there for step-by-steps, and then you can also have a view for common responses. And this is really helpful if you've got someone else managing your inbox, or maybe you have a new VA and you want them to have a place to go to answer these questions that are coming into your inbox without having to ask you. This is a great place. And you can just say, hey, here's access to ClickUp. You'll be able to find any SOP you need in the Learning Center. If you can't find something you need, let me know. And you've got your SOPs all built out right here. So that's one of my other favorites. And then if you have a coaching program, it's very good to use. So maybe you have different statuses as what's coming in. And this will get into why ClickUp is great. I did not have to create two different views. I just added the view, and ClickUp takes your lists and creates a board based on your statuses. So in this case, we have the statuses are application received, application approved, application denied, and then complete. In this case, complete would probably be when they're done with the program, if you're done moving them through the channels, but you always have to have a closed status, so that's what that is. So in this case, we have application received. The reason you're seeing these other views is because we're on the folder. So if we only were looking at the applications and what's in the application process, we'll click that list, and then we can go to board view and see application received, approved, declined, complete. So anytime someone fills out this form here, which you could use, if you use Airtable forms, this is a good replacement. It doesn't do logic jump, so you can't say if someone answers this question, then ask this question. But if you're just collecting information, this is great, and it puts it right into your task list. So anytime someone completes this form, it's going to put the first name, last name as the task name, and it's going to automatically assign it to whoever you select it to be assigned to right here. So you could assign it to as many people as you want. And the cool thing that ClickUp has released is these automation bots. So right now I have 3 active automations. When the status changes from application received to approved, it's going to move it to my enrollment list. When it changes from application received to declined, it's going to change the status to complete. So that's without anybody having to check off anything or anything like that. When status changed from received to approved, it's going to move the list to enrollment intake area, change the status to do, and create an apply my coaching program accepted students template. So I'll just it's pretty cool the way that it all works. So these are all going to happen just based on the change of a status. And it looks like my status field went away. So the first status, if I go ahead and just put my name in here, application is received. That's the first status. So anytime you create a task or someone fills out this form, that's going to be the first status. Then if I change it to approved, it's going to take a second, but it's going to move it, or it should, in a second. Yep, there it goes. So now it's gone from application received, and now it's in my enrollment and intake section, and it's already applied my subtasks without me having to do anything other than change the status. And if you set your templates up with your assignees and the due dates already there, ClickUp is smart enough to know that it's going to reassign all of those tasks from that template to the task when it's created, along with due date remapping. So if you set it to be due today, it's going to remap the due dates when the task is created to the appropriate due date. So there's lots of things, but that's a little more in depth, getting how to get that to work. So I'm not going to go into that today. But as you can see, it's just moving it through the pipeline, and I only had to change the status. So now if we move on to content calendar, here's another way you can use this. I have this set up with custom fields. Now with the free version of ClickUp, you can have only 100 custom fields, but what that means is how many tasks you have. So you have to have 100 tasks in the content calendar space before it'll tell you no. So you can have as many as you want in the free plan. Just when you start adding tasks to them, it starts counting towards your 100 free. And it doesn't reset. So if you delete the tasks, it's accrued custom field. So you won't be able to get around it. You'll have to upgrade. But I think like the regular version is $5 a month. So it's it's nothing crazy. And I highly recommend the business plan for anyone, even if you're using it for a side hustle. I would do the business plan. It's like $12 a month, I think. So in this, if you were to say you're using this as a content calendar for your Facebook page, your Facebook groups, your Instagram, and your blog posts, you would just go in here and add whatever your content is going to be. So let's just say we're going to make the task name is going to be the date, and then you can add different things. So let's just say this is for Monday. I'm not putting the date in because I don't feel like leaving here to look at my calendar, but Monday, and I'm going to click save. And now I'm going to go here and I'm going to say alternate time is awesome is the copy. And I want to use an image. So this custom field is a file upload custom image, or custom field rather. So if I were to go down, I'm going to pick my daughter here, and it's uploading it to the task, and it's a to-do task, and I'm going to say to @teammate, can you review the copy and image, right? Then they're going to get a notification to check this, and then teammate reviews it, and she can check her checkbox. And then we can pick a published date and a due date and assign it, and you can also look at this in a board view. So we can see that we can look at the tasks as to do, in progress, all of that kind of thing. And we can set this so you should be able to see the image pinned. Let's see. Show cover images. I don't know why this isn't showing. Maybe I've got too much in here. Oh, okay. I know why. You have to pin the image. So if I open this up, if I look at it and I click this little pin cover image, it should show in the description, but it's not. And it might just be because of the view I'm looking at it in. If I go to Facebook, I wonder if it shows up. No. Okay. But you can look at it in a bunch of different ways and be able to see it. The other cool thing is the calendar view. So the calendar view here, I don't have a due date assigned to this, so it's not showing on the calendar. Let's throw a due date in. Due date is Monday, and that's the date I want to post it. So now I see due date Monday in the board view, and now I will also see it on Monday here. And if I open that up, I can see the image. I wonder if that fixes it. Yep, there it goes. I don't know. It just took a second for some reason. Let's see if it shows up here. There it goes. It just takes a second sometimes. We're a little impatient when it comes to software now. When you stop to think about how long it used to take to connect to the internet with dial-up, you start to realize that maybe we're being a little impatient. But anyway, I'm used to what I'm used to, and I want things done quick. But you can see here that just from uploading it here, it took a second to show up, but it's pinned the image here, so you can really easily see the image, what your copy is, if someone's reviewed it, what the publication date is, when the due date is, and you can easily drag it along. So if it's in progress now, I can move it. If it's been posted, I can move it. And you can see all of the tasks by clicking on the folder within all of these lists. So if I were to create a task for each one of these, it's going to show up here. So it's super fun. And the reason it disappeared is because I moved it to complete, just FYI. Then you can also do podcast management in here. Podcast would be great to manage here because of the forms. So here's a form view. And let's just say that anytime someone requests to be on the podcast, I'm going to send them the link to this form. When they complete it, it's going to name the list the person's first name and last name, because that's what the first field says. I have this as the task name rather than a first name and last name custom field. Email address, website, social handles, all that good stuff. So whenever someone completes it, it's going to automatically assign it to Chelsea, me, and it's going to add them here. Now, obviously, Rachel Hollis and Amy Porterfield and George Washington did not complete my podcast thing. So if they want to, then, cool. I don't have a podcast, but I will make one. So so here we have some more automation set up. So the guest is confirmed. If I change this, the first status is application received or pitched, guest confirmed, interview recorded, or scheduled and recorded. So if I were to change this status to interview scheduled, we'll see what happens. We can see that it's taking it a second, but it's disappeared now. It's going through its workflow, and it will appear here. So now it's applied another task template. It's got all my information is going in the description or right here. And now I have all these other tasks that have been created without having to use Zapier, without having to do anything else. And if they are approved, then we already have their headshot, their bio, all of their stuff right here in the task. So the next person that this is assigned to doesn't have to go download it from Google Drive or find it in Airtable or any of that. It's all in ClickUp already, just from the one form that started here. Then after this, I would just say that I want to move all of these. And I think I have that as an automation in here, that anytime this task is completed, which means that all the tasks have been completed, it's going to move the list to the past podcast episodes. So I don't even have to complete the task. It's just going to do it by itself after I complete all of the subtasks here. You could also do social media management in ClickUp. So I like to do things like this, like click here to edit the details. So it's very easy once I set up your ClickUp for you to figure out how to do the things in here. There's not like, how do I change this Facebook group link or anything? You just click here. I've put it right there for you. You can add your link, and it's a clickable link in this description. Weekly group admin. So you could set that as a reoccurring task assigned to whoever is responsible for approving Facebook group requests. Post the welcome post, and you could also put the image in here or attach it to the task that's reoccurring. All of that. One of my favorite zaps, this will be a little nugget for you. If you have a hard time keeping up with making sure that you're engaging with your Facebook groups, I have a zap that what it does is it goes to your Facebook group. You have to allow Zapier on your Facebook group. So through Facebook, you have to set this up first. Go to Facebook and add Zapier as an app in your settings section. Then if you go to Zapier, I'll show you the actual zap. And I'll show you, it'll be a little easier than talking through it. So when a new post happens in the Facebook group and you put all your information in, it's going to append, entry, and schedule digest. What that means is it's creating the entry in Zapier and holding it until the next day. And what that does is it's taking all of the Facebook posts for one day and creating a task in ClickUp with the links in the description. Why do you want this? If you've ever tried to look back through Facebook posts and make sure in a group that you liked or responded to everyone's comment, it's you've got to change the view, you've got to go see most recent. It's a whole thing. And there's nothing worse than that. So if I were to come here and just this is my post here. This is the zap that gets created. You can see these are all the Facebook posts from the day before. It's assigning the task for me at 11 a.m. each day, and it's holding all of these. That way I'm not getting individual notifications for each post, and I can ignore them on my phone because I know I'm going to have a task reminding me to go make sure that everybody has been engaged with and feels taken care of. So if you want that zap, let me know. I can get that to you. So there's just really a lot of really cool things you can do inside ClickUp using the automations that are already here, and tying in Zapier just makes it all the better. So if you're currently interested in learning a little bit more about ClickUp, or you want to start offering it as a service yourself to set up other people's, I'm working on a course on how to set up ClickUp, like a ClickUp 101, and walking you through all of these things in more detail and how to get them all kind of working together. If you're interested in having your ClickUp set up and you just don't even want to know how to do it, you just want to use it, just let me know. I do that. And if you have any questions, let me know. So yeah, that's about it. If you use ClickUp, let me know in the comments what your favorite feature is. There's so many in here that I'm 100% sure I don't know everything that ClickUp knows how to do. But I'd love to hear your favorite hacks.